Hey, everybody, this is episode 18. No, it's not. No, it's 98.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
This is where you come in, Wade. This is where you're supposed to be the guy rapping now. Rap. Hurry.
I don't know how to rap.
Okay. Shane Chapman, Wayne Laurent, Bryce Wolaniuk here with you today. Woo! Episode 98. I said the other day, I was like, how many times am I going to intro our new podcast with Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Show? Because that's what I've done for 100 episodes.
And now.
I haven't yet, but I went the other way and called this episode 18 because the other podcast is called
Is the other 18.
They're 18. So, whoops. Slipped that one up. Whatever. Today's an Instagram Q&A
I don't
episode.
think that was a slip up.
Fine, let's go full promo here. Genuine slip up. What did you do last night, Wade? Did you get up to anything?
No, I didn't.
We had a big day in the yard here
Oh
yesterday.
boy, I was busy, and then got home, and I bought. We actually bought half beef from a friend of ours from high school.
Half beef?
Yeah.
Half a beef.
Oh, you bought
Third
half a beef, not
Half a beef.
half beef.
No, half a.
What was the other half?
The other half was who knows?
Debatable.
Undisclosed.
Came from Weyburn,
For
so.
sure didn't come from A&W. So we bought half a beef. Shane and I and another buddy, Ryan, split it because everybody says that's the best way
That's
to buy
the way
beef,
to do it.
Right? It's like the least expensive, and it's like you don't support the big conglomerates. Like that basically goes right to the farmer.
Yeah.
And so that's a buddy of ours from high school. I got in touch with him. I don't know what I paid, something like $13 a pound for ground beef one day at Costco, and phoned him and was like, yeah, so I'm done with this.
It's time.
Like now we're
Have beef prices gone up
They've
in
gone
the
up
grocery
through
world?
the
Yes.
roof.
Like pandemic pricing is
Yeah.
in full effect right now?
Yeah. So picked up a half beef from him. Last night was the first time I'd had any of that beef. I cooked a roast.
And
It was amazing.
good.
How did you cook it?
Amazing.
And for how long?
Braised it.
No.
That's the freaking way to do it.
I didn't.
You have to braise roast.
Foolproof.
Oh, it's...
I was going to put it in the smoker, but yesterday
yeah.
was an absolute gong show in the store. So JJ put it in the oven at 4:30 and just like traditionally cooked it in the oven because I couldn't get away. I
Oh,
couldn't
you don't
leave.
eat till 10, right? I
Yeah.
was like, how is that enough time to eat that at
No,
6?
she put it in the
having
oven.
supper.
Yeah, right.
I was going to put it on the smoker. It ended up not going on the smoker.
Right.
I was going to go home at noon and put it on the smoker and then eat it. But it didn't. What happened was it went into the oven at 4:30 and we ate at 6:30. It was in the oven for 2 hours. And it was just like, it was awesome. And then I picked up a bottle of wine on the way home. I picked up an Amarone. Oh,
From where?
Sobeys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would do it. Yeah. Kirkland has, speaking of wine, I'm a nerd for wine, but has Italian Barolo.
We bought some of those.
Yeah. It's like $36. That should be like a $90 bottle of
I
wine.
know.
And don't drink it for another 5 years.
Nope, that's not going to happen in our house.
It's going to be like,
Maybe I should buy one.
it's
and
going
put
to
it
hit you in the face.
I should buy one and put it in the safe.
Oh, you're expecting Wade to have patience and self-control. That's
Around
cute.
alcohol. Good luck. So anyways, yeah,
Your wife is in here, says
Yeah.
you didn't exactly cook it.
I didn't. I even said
Whoa.
I didn't cook it. I was supposed to.
I wasn't sure how that was supposed to be read. You didn't exactly cook it, or
no.
you didn't exactly cook it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it was raw because it was only in the oven.
No. So she did all of it. I didn't do any of it.
She nailed it.
And it was so good. Yeah.
So I agree with braising though. Like
Yeah.
braising with
Braising.
roast, unbelievable. It's so good that way. Anyway,
I don't have enough time.
Braising's so easy.
Listen,
you just put it.
I didn't say that it was complicated.
So that's what I've been doing on my roast. Typically, is smoking them and then braising them.
Oh, wow.
And oh,
Because it would sear the outside with that.
well, it just gets a bit of smoky
Smokiness.
flavor in it first, right? And then throw
This
it
is
in
a
the braiser
cooking
and, like,
podcast now.
Yeah.
JJ says, yeah, after Bryce's orange wine recommendation, I'm a little nervous about the Barolo.
Oh, sorry, JJ.
Well, maybe someday her refined taste will catch up to your further refined
I like
taste.
crazy shit. So
Like vinegar.
nail polish.
That'll
Remover.
work too.
Nothing. Did nothing. Ate. supper,
Worldly
and then
news?
Are we worldly newsing?
I get like we were
What did
gonna
you
try
do?
to
Was
speed
that a-
this
yeah,
thing
yeah.
up.
You just like
I'm just giving you the heads up that you should get it ready.
I'm
Was that a
ready.
lead up to like?
Nope. I did like I was a tired little guy yesterday. It turns out that being out in the sun all day and lifting things, hard work.
Right.
Those yard guys, that's a shitty job.
You should pay them more.
I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being outside and talking to people all day. I enjoyed it, and getting like cleaning up. Like it was actually a fantastic day, but it's tiring for sure being out there. Like,
Did you feel like a
dust
used
and
car
sun.
salesman?
Nope.
No.
No. Oh, right, because you weren't bartering.
There was no
it's just
haggling. You were already getting the bottom
Get
price. So there was no.
Yeah, and especially on that side of the building, right? That's the west side of the building. It's all concrete on the ground. It's like super white building on the back side. It's just reflecting heat.
Yeah.
Like we were over there baking.
It's supposed to be 28 degrees today. 27, 28. That's like, what, 85?
Summer's coming back.
Not bad.
Is it really?
Yep.
Let's wrap this up and go golfing.
Right. Okay,
Nobody
let's go.
expects us to be around here today.
I didn't do anything last night. I went home and like we were actually supposed to go to Justin and Jen's place last night. And so I got home. Yeah, right. I forget what I do all the time. I got home. My sister-in-law was over. She was going to babysit the kids. I jumped in the shower. We had supper. And then we didn't go.
You mean you had a
So-
babysitter and you stayed home?
Uh-huh.
Holy.
Whose fault is this?
JC's.
Because she's not here to defend herself.
Correct.
And she's not in on the pod either.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
What's the real story, though?
let's do the world news before I get myself in trouble here.
Did you get an Xbox recently?
I did.
No, I asked if you did.
No, I didn't get an Xbox, but I bought the game that you bought
Because Sean bought.
when you got your Xbox.
Yeah.
So, anyway. I'm working on something very... Okay, first
should
of all,
start that
this
again.
episode is a giant shit show right now. We bombed the intro. We bombed this little guy. Okay, let's get to the world news. Just so you know, Mom, I'm working on something very, very big. Very important. You're going to be very proud. It's the worldly news. God, let something go right on this podcast, okay? Bryce, have some good stories.
First news. Quebec town called Asbestos searches for a new name.
That's the town
That's the
name.
name of the town. It was one of the first asbestos mines in Canada.
Okay.
That's why they were named
I
asbestos.
think they should keep that. That's history. That's
Why
like
not?
so. Here's what I don't like
Somebody's
right now
offended.
about the statues being torn down and stuff. Is like, dude, that's history.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not good. Some of it isn't, right? Like
Yep.
oppression and slavery and like that stuff's not great. But if you erase history, then you don't know that like you're bound to repeat those mistakes. So like the statues of John A. Macdonald Sir John A. Macdonald getting knocked down is like, that's no good. That doesn't erase.
Nope. Doesn't change
That
anything.
doesn't change anything. And like I'm fairly biased, but I think Canada is a pretty great country. It's like good for him for finding it.
Place is a shithole.
Are we flawless?
I mean-
absolutely not.
Regina.
But you know, anyway, so don't change the name of the town. Why? Like why? That's a great story. We
I feel like
founded
this
a-
is a Me Too and not a hashtag Me Too. This is a Me Too thing. They're like, well, everybody else changed their names with people offended. We should change ours now too. It's like asbestos isn't offending anybody.
no, it's killing people.
Do you want to know the suggestions for
Yeah.
Yep, I do.
Okay, the top 4 suggestions are the French spelling of phoenix.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course, because anything
It's
that's
coming
reborn
back,
has to
right?
be called
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Apollon, which is a species of turtle. So I don't know how that
There
manages.
must be turtles there.
Trois Lacs, which means 3 lakes. And this is my favorite.
How far is it from Riviere? Like
I don't know. Jeffrey.
that
Why?
one's got my vote.
The name of the man who operated the town's first asbestos mine.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey.
So if you're trying to divert yourself from the history of being an asbestos mine, why name the town after the guy who started the asbestos mine?
Or the turtle. Name
Makes
it after
some
the
sense.
turtle. Name it up. You have to think about the monument that you're going to put in your town that people can come to.
Right, turtle.
The turtle.
I agree with that, but I think that if the turtle's name is Jeffrey, then go with that.
If the turtle's name is Jeffrey,
Not Franklin.
go with Jeffrey.
Go with Jeffrey.
Nobody in the town likes any of these names.
Good.
So
Maybe they'll just keep their name then.
Traw Lake.
okay, let's move on to Malaysian man's missing phone turns up loaded with monkey selfies.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. I want video on this one.
There is video. So I'll talk about it first, though. A Malaysian resident woke up in the morning to a lost phone. A monkey snuck into his house.
Yeah, they broke into his house.
Yep. Took his phone, played with it, and then left it outside. He found it outside the next
Awesome.
morning.
Is there
so
pictures? Did they share it? You can't write that article without
There's
Oh, this is
lots
awesome.
of evidence.
on the Instagram live. Here's the pictures.
Oh, now it's just broken
Oh
phone.
no. Why is this moving?
It's
There, they're
okay.
coming.
This is the monkeys steal this guy's phone and shoot a bunch of selfies.
I feel like
Well,
that
that's
wouldn't
pretty
happen
funny.
very often.
That's pretty funny.
No, I would think not. Although monkeys stealing things in like
Apparently, that's a big problem.
India and yeah, it is a big problem because they sit on the rooftops and they come down and steal people's glasses and hats and shit. And the monkeys know how to barter. They steal it so they can get food. People trade them. Then you have to give them food to get their
No way.
shit back.
They're just thieves.
They're thieves. Straight up thieves.
Real thieves. Okay, good news story. Oscar Mayer, the hot dog company, offers free hot dog on wheels for marriage proposals.
Wow.
How do you get one?
You want the Wienermobile?
Yeah.
Oh, like they'll loan it to you as a backdrop for your or like to
Yeah, they'll drive it up to you.
propose your wedding.
Yeah, you can rent it and walk through it. And
You blew it on your proposal.
Amazing.
Hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
The-
Apparently
did
that's
you
what I'm
have?
doing wrong.
Bunch of like orchestra people and a fountain.
No, just a castle and a band.
Yeah. Blew it.
Yeah.
You blew it.
Didn't have the Oscar.
You didn't
Mayer
have a
wiener.
27-foot long hot dog on wheels.
Well, that explains a lot.
Funny.
All right, is that it?
Well, Wade said he had one.
Rebel News says that Halloween's going to be canceled.
What?
Too many germs.
It's not a formal thing. How do you cancel something that doesn't really exist other than just people's?
Halloween really exists.
But not. What's the government gonna do? You're like start giving out tickets if somebody gives out candy?
Sure. They find a way to tax that
Can't stop people from going for a walk
with a bag.
Yeah.
and a mask. Masks are mandatory.
Okay.
Loophole.
Yeah, that's what I heard that the one day too. It was like, well, maybe they're gonna start making the kids wear masks. I was like, they are wearing masks.
Yeah, everybody's going to be dressed
Halloween.
as a surgeon for Halloween this year.
Yeah.
That's what I should be.
Yeah.
The safest profession.
Exactly.
Alice
Okay,
Cooper's Dr. Feelgood.
let's get to these questions.
get to it.
If you have questions you want to enter as we go along here, all you have to do is type them into beside the little chat box. There's a little card with the question mark on it. That's where we want your questions because that's how we keep a track of them and avoid the scrolling. And that's how I think you can then see that on there now, right? I put that question up there.
Yes.
Now everybody can see the question.
Yeah.
See, this is cute.
It
I
even
like
has
this feature.
Q&A
I like
before I log in.
Yeah, good. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that right at the top. Q&A. Beautiful. Okay. So first question here, except why doesn't it tell you who says it in this thing? TC Dex is who it was. But TC Dex says, and I believe this is right. Yeah, TC Dex says, in your opinions, for a new deck builder, would you go exclusive to one brand or the other?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
End of question. Maybe.
So
You do you. Next question.
So you can make an argument for both.
This is
but
perfect. Let's hear both
you
sides.
make an argument for both. I would say no because I think that when you get started, I think you should be working with all of the products to try and figure out where you hit your groove and which ones you like to use.
Hit your groove. Okay, Mr. Puntastic 6000.
Amazing, right?
That was
Stella got a groove
slid
back.
that groove pun right in there.
Pretty early. I'm not even done my whiskey coffee yet. So, yeah, I think I would just try a bunch of different brands and then much like we do at our store, we sell multiple brands because I like the idea of offering what works for the customer, not what works for me. So,
Okay, so there's one side of it. The reason I would say yes, and mine was with an asterisk that you should try them first. Like you should go explore all the brands before.
now he likes my answer so
Before you-
much he's using part of it.
No. This is always my answer. Even
Try
last,
Wade's first.
even last night when I saw this. But I think if you're like, should you settle into a brand? There's a lot of benefits to you if you do. That's why I think that you probably should. As a deck builder, sure. Like pick the brand that you think is the best because odds are guys are going to have a brand that they think's the best.
Yeah,
Like they'll try the 5 or 6 and be like, I really like working with this one, or I think it's a better product, or I think the warranty's better.
there's some loyalty kickbacks that make sense in joining.
So then do that. And exactly, sign into the loyalty program because it's going to help you build your business a lot and potentially help you get a lot of leads. There's a lot of benefits to choosing that personally for your business to pick a brand and run with it.
Yeah.
Whereas the benefits to not doing that and trying to like, there's a lot of like logistical issues with trying to like manage so many brands and show so many brands and source so many brands and everything else.
Correct. Yeah, you roll up to somebody's house and you have to pull out 4 suitcases full of samples.
And then you just confuse them. I like the idea that some guys have chosen their brand, they show that, and if nothing works,
Then you
well, okay, then maybe go find something else that if they're like, we're looking for something that's not really in here, it's kind of yellow. It's like, okay, I'll go find a couple other options. But for the most part, if people have 20 options in front of them, they'll be able to find
They'll
them.
find something.
And then
Certainly.
as a new deck builder, I think it'd be good to get in under a rep that's going to support you and have those kickbacks and build some brand and maybe get some leads out of it and everything else. So I think it would be good.
Do you think it's better to choose a like a larger brand like Trex versus like Decorators?
Did you see that question in there?
I didn't.
I said
But
it.
I like how you're building on that.
No. Next, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit!
So
No, that's a good follow-up question.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Like, do you
obviously
choose the big guy?
I don't know that. So I think as you're starting your business, if you're looking to get out there, you'd be remiss to not have Trex in like as part of your advertising somehow. They're the juggernaut in the industry. They're huge.
Is your question that it should be the biggest guy or just like one of the big
Well, like,
guys?
so like, do you like do some market research and figure out what the most popular color is, basically, and then like if all the decks are built in Foggy Wharf, go with Trex and be the Trex guy.
I think that
Or-
when people are looking for a deck in your market, you need to find out what they're looking for. Are they typing in Trex or are they typing in TimberTech? Because there are certain Saskatoon is a heavy Fibron market. Regina's heavy Trex market. So if you're a contractor in Regina and you're not hawking Trex, you're missing out on some of the searches. Or if you're not a Trex pro, you're missing out on some of the searches, right? But in Saskatoon, maybe probably Trex works everywhere because that's what everybody thinks composite is.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It's I think you probably should be tied to one of the big brands in some way. I just wouldn't exclusively sell that line.
Right.
I would sell a few of them. I would have a few from the Fibron, and I'd have a few from TimberTech, and a few from Trex, and a few from Decorators, and I would have a few boards that I, as a builder, liked.
Yeah.
But you would absolutely be I'd be on somebody's page for sure as one of their pro installers. Bro.
Majestic Outdoors says, yes, don't give too many choices. 100% spot on. TimberTech, AZEK all the way. So I don't know who he's with, but like,
Yeah.
and then TC Dex follows up and says, I have the 2 big names in the industry trying to sway me, offering some good incentives. So that'll be Trex and TimberTech, presumably. Yeah. I mean, do your research, find the products that you like to work with the most, understand the benefits. There's obviously like Decorators is obviously a big up and comer, and there's some big companies using that exclusively now and having really good experience with it. I would say one of those 3, right? Like Fibron Decorators might be a little bit harder to find in your market. So if they're not there, Trex is going to be the most available. No matter where you are, you're going to be able to find some Trex.
Yep.
Right? So if that's a concern, first of all, find what brands are readily available, because you don't want to be stuck in this limbo of trying to order stuff in from elsewhere all the time or having logistics issues with it.
Yeah.
So at least choose from the ones that are available in your area. And then I'm not going to guide you between Trex and TimberTech. They're both good products. See which one you like the best.
Yeah, they both have good warranties and they both have like great reps. We've met lots of reps from both of the companies. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool.
they both have production issues. Yeah. So
Majestic Outdoors, we agree with Shane. Did you hear that?
it's fine. I don't have feelings, so you can't hurt them.
Did you guys hear the intro? Wade thinks you're the smartest person he's ever met.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Is JJ out of there?
I don't know.
That's some scary stuff to say out loud.
So Regal Ideas, next comment, just a comment says, just want to say you are both awesome. Thanks, buddy. Jace DeBoer says, or sometimes you can be the catalyst in a market to bring a brand into a dealer, then set yourself apart. Yeah.
Challenger brand.
Aiden Construction says, do you have a theme?
A theme?
For what?
Is it?
For this podcast? It's an Instagram Q&A. I don't know what else you might be referring to there.
Do we have a theme for the podcast? Yeah. It's called Winging It.
Wing it. It's funny. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, this is the wing it theme.
Big Locker 1869 says, how much does camo rule?
The roost. It rules the roost. Camo rules the roost.
But how much?
Yeah, you didn't ask what it rules
Yeah.
It's an
necessarily.
infinite amount of ruling. Everybody knows that whoever rules the roost.
Sounds like quite a bit of ruling. So Camo makes great products. What else do you want to say? Like he must work for them or something. I don't know. That's the second Camo comment he's made in
Or
this
he just-
podcast so far.
Or he just found it.
So Camo products are amazing. The ProTech screws with the Marksman jigs, really good products.
They're amazing.
The Camo clips, really good products. Camo drive, really good products. The screws, no idea.
The lever.
Probably okay. Camo lever is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The lever.
Lever.
It's amazing.
So yeah, it
Big fan.
It
Big-
rules a measurable amount.
Immeasurable.
Next question from New England Deck Pros. Do you think that buying your own equipment to install helical piles or piers makes sense?
Ooh.
No. I don't.
Yes. This is
So I
how we
don't
get
think so. I think like if you're
this is a depends question.
like the diapers.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Quick, say your answer first so I can borrow part of it and then answer mine.
So I don't think so. I think it's a business all on its own. And so if you're going to do the helical screw piles, I think you should be putting them in for everybody. You should be putting them in for yourself and all your competition. Because if you think about running a helical screw pile machine, you're going to put in 4 piles a week so that you can build decks. And I just don't think that offsets the cost of that machine. So
So this is where I say it depends. You're only doing 4 piles a week if you're like a one crew working like pretty small operation.
Right.
If you have 6 crews and you're starting 6
Sure.
projects a week, and every project you build has 14 to 20 piles.
yep, then fine.
It's like a day, you got every day is full of drilling piles. And why not? You could drill them for other people too. I think, right?
It gets a little bit tricky though.
If you're a high volume guy, I think it for sure makes sense.
Yeah, if you're a high volume guy, sure, I can support that. But
Or just have your
you're
own
not
separate
going to be
franchise.
you're not going to be putting them in for your competition. I can tell you that for sure. They'll know who you are and what you're doing, and they'll just be like, "Nope, I'm not supporting my competition," and they just won't. We know that because we opened the store and everybody thought we were installers, and nobody was coming here to shop.
Have you literally borrowed packs of pickets from 2 of our biggest competitors in the city?
Yeah, but it took
This year?
But it took 5 years to get there.
You didn't ask him the first years.
Yes, I did.
I think can be friendly competition.
There can be friendly competition. I just don't think I would build my business off of the
But
referrals
so-
from Freeze Tallman.
Well, nobody's suggesting that you only build your business off referrals
Yeah.
from your competition. I'm saying that like if you were to buy your machine, you're not necessarily only ever going to be installing them for yourself. Like what if you like for example, Perfect View Simon, he's got his Perfect View decks
Yep.
business and he has the Goliath Tech franchise.
Yes.
A lot of his competition could be completely oblivious that he's even the Goliath Tech guy.
Yep.
So, and some of them, like maybe you're in an area where there isn't many screw pile guys or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think there's an opportunity to, if you're a high volume guy that can sustain your own jobs with it, absolutely. But I think there's also probably a lot of opportunity to install for others as well and have that as a separate arm of the business completely. And
And so do you think that if you have this separate arm of your business that it's taking away from your like real money maker? Like if you're really making money at building decks and then you have this other thing that you're just like half-assing off the side of your desk, is that where you...
no, because I think in a large business, like the owner's probably not the guy in the seat anyway. Like you hire a guy to run the installer, to run the machinery.
Yeah, I guess we need more information. Are you the guy in the seat?
Well, like, yeah. So why are you even considering getting your own helical pile installing machine?
So
Because
Like, what's the point?
Paying somebody else $300 a pop to put them in,
Right.
and the pile costs $75. So you're paying somebody else $225 per pile labor to drive piles, and if you're driving 15 piles per project and you're doing that a few times a week,
I mean, I feel like it could make business sense because that machine could be used in other ways as well.
yeah, I think if you
Certainly
can
could
make
be.
enough money to pay off the machine in a few years, then maybe, sure. Like I'm all for collecting toys
Yeah.
and tools, right? So if you could pay that machine off in a couple of years, then it might make sense. But I think my argument would be that you can make more money building decks and then buy the machine.
Focus on.
focus on the deck, get that going. But if he's in a market that doesn't have them at all and he's the first to market in there, then I have a totally different answer.
so there's a few guys in the Facebook groups and the Instagram
like,
world
make it
that have
happen.
bought these machines recently, and they're saying it's the best thing that they've done. Is like because they now not only are they now retaining that revenue in their own pockets, but they control their own schedules.
Like, how much do they cost? Like, what's the cost on those?
like a
Oh,
machine.
you're probably into it for like even with used machinery like 30 or 40 grand. Like
Yeah.
That's
But-
all.
But that's
But
only.
think, but you do
that's
10
only,
pile.
That's
You,
$500 a month.
you make $2,000 a day installing them,
Yeah.
right? And you're gonna
Yeah.
pay a guy to sit in the bucket seat and drive, and you're gonna pay him $200 a day. So that machine's not gonna take that long. If you're in a market that's busy enough with those things, that's not gonna take that long to pay that off. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think it's a great idea if you're a big volume builder and you're driving lots of piles. Like, you need to sit down and do the cost analysis on that and see if it makes sense for you. But because the answer is it's not a blanket answer. Like, a guy who does 17 decks a year and they're all 300 square feet, well, he probably shouldn't bother.
Right. Yeah. I think that if I was doing it, if I could support it on my own, like if it made business sense on my own business, then I probably would.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would draw away from my business to start another one right away. But
TS Hockey Training wants to know, why does everyone think you are not only the best deck supplier, but also one of the top blacklist players of all time?
who's this?
TS Hockey Training.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to that until I heard the word blacklist, because I thought it was somebody from a different.
No, would you like me to repeat it?
Yeah.
Why does everyone think you are not only the best deck supplier, but also one of the top blacklist players of all time?
As my tenure, I have really hit my stride in rec hockey as I've aged. I think I was 1.5 or 2 points a game last year. And the whole time playing hockey, like whenever I played organized hockey, I was like 1 point per 5 games. So
Here's an interesting take on this whole, like,
maybe I'm like the same level and everybody else just keeps getting older and shittier.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I've been as good a hockey player from the age of 17 to 40.
Consistency,
And
man.
it's just like everybody else was really good when they were 20. And I was like, just right here, just getting.
you're playing the maintain game.
Yeah, exactly.
Out-maintain you guys.
I flattened the curve a long time ago with my hockey.
So interesting take on this whole thing. Everybody talks about Trex being the big brand, and they are. But Precision Construction says, and he like sent this message kind of direct to Jace from Decorators, so maybe I wasn't supposed to read this one out loud, but I like the point he's making. Everybody thinks the I don't know if I should reword his stuff. Everybody thinks the dinosaur, T-Rex, is so big, yet the revenue is paltry compared to UFP. So when you get down to brass tacks, Decorators is the biggest board in the game.
So it's nope. Like I like what he's saying. I like where he's going with that, but he's not right. Nobody walks in here and says, "Can I get a Decorators board?" And so
Yeah.
they don't.
No.
Yeah.
They want trucks.
I would agree with you. I understand what he's saying. He's like, you can't, like, look, people are saying like you can't compete with Trex because of their bank account. They've got more marketing dollars and can outspend anybody. What he's saying is like, no, maybe not. Like, if you're looking at their bottom line revenue,
yeah.
UFP could spend whatever they want to
Absolutely. And
from a
Fibron,
brand, but they haven't.
and Fibron right now,
Yeah.
right? They're a Fortune brand.
Yeah.
Nobody can play with those guys.
Yep.
Like that's huge dollars.
Big bank.
Regardless of how big their bank accounts are, there's no disputing that Trex is the biggest brand of composite decking in the
Correct.
industry.
It's
And
like-
it's not even close.
We could have an argument about whether Coke is the biggest brand in the soft drink. There's no argument. Coke is the biggest.
Yes.
It's just that's what it is.
Yes.
You talk about trucks, Ford.
And that's a fair comparison too, because you look at Pepsi, and Pepsi's bottom line way bigger than Coke's.
yeah.
Like, because they're owned by like they're part of what? Quaker, like the whole, like, they own half the convenience store items in the world. They're a bigger company than Coca-Cola is.
Yeah. But
Are you
Let's,
pressing the button? Because I'm not getting the question
no,
changed.
we're rolling through comments.
I'm trying to catch up through the comments to this
okay.
last question we asked. Quickly, Cable Rail says, if you're building enough decks to keep the equipment busy, yes. If not, no.
Sure.
New England Deck Pro says, I'm thinking of getting a Dingo with drive head, and then I can drive piers, use forks to move material, and use to move demo to the dump trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
So like there's
multi-purpose
that's
tool.
a multi-use tool, right? And
And TC Deck says, I think I'd start a separate pile company from the deck company. And I
think that would
idea
probably
too.
be a good way to
That's
start.
how I would do it as well.
Yep. And then you could pay yourself and then not to pay taxes on that. Those are two different companies that you can, however you get around that.
Jace DeBoer says, will you guys be doing anything special for your 100th episode?
It seems like a loaded question.
I don't think so.
I hope we do.
TC Deck says,
I personally hope the 100th is a good one.
there are some things in the works. I don't know what we're allowed to say, so we won't. I mean, you're not gonna have to wait very long to hear it. We're on
Couple
98.
more weeks.
98, yeah. If you're listening, people in the podcast or in the live will have to wait.
Northridge GC, general contractors, I assume, says, I've been using concealed flange hangers on our outside joists. Is there another way? Yes.
Yep.
There's another way. Everybody's finding the things that we don't agree on today.
No,
not that we don't agree.
There
that
is.
We differ.
There's
have
two
different
ways to
opinions
do
on.
that.
So Wade,
Depends what you're doing. So if you're using a composite fascia, then I think that hanger is pretty good.
no.
Concealed hanger, that's what he asked.
You mean the opposite?
No, if you're using a composite fascia,
Okay.
then I would use that hanger because you can hide that steel on it. You can go right over top of it.
I see.
You
Okay.
would never see it. It would just
Okay.
like cover it. If you're just leaving the fascia exposed, like your rim joist is going to be exposed and
Yeah.
you're never going to cover it, then I would use an L7 on the inside, or I would run that outside rim joist past the ledger and then fasten it in with a structural screw.
Yeah. So in all of those scenarios, I would suggest doing that. And because when you're doing the composite fascia, that hanger and the screws are in the way. Now you have to notch the back of your fascia and dick around with that, trying to get that fascia to sit flush. I think that's the biggest time when you should probably use the other options, which Wade said is if you're going to butt the outside rim into the ledger, then an L70 bracket or an L5 or whatever size lumber from Simpson is appropriate. It's just a 90-degree hanger that'll stiffen that corner up. Or, like you said, run past and have the ledger butt into the rim, and then you can bolt in from that side and not require hardware at all. I like the idea of throwing the L70s on the corner regardless how you're doing that. But using a concealed hanger, I think always it's either visible, which is unsightly, if you're not using fascia, if it's a wood deck or something, or it's in the way of the fascia. And why bother having to hack away at the back of your board to try to get to notch around those SD screws or nails or whatever on that hanger if you can just use different hardware and not have to worry about it?
Yep.
That's my opinion on that.
Yeah. I guess I never did that. I always just I just ran the fascia over top of that hanger. I didn't think that there was a big enough. It was like an eighth of an inch.
Oh, for sure.
I was a trim guy.
No, it's not even an inch though.
No, because I didn't put the screws on the outside. I'd use a flat,
I see.
like I'd use a flat nail, right? And just like pound the nail flat.
Gotcha.
It was like, that didn't move that much. So
Quigley Cable Oil says when the customer asks for Trex, they're not always thinking of the Trex brand, but Trex as a product.
Yeah.
Correct. Synonymous with composite for a lot of people. Composite for a lot of people. They
Yes.
don't understand that the brand is like, it's the Kleenex syndrome. right?
Kleenex, yep.
yeah, that's
Okay, so hopefully we've answered that for Northridge with a couple good options for him there. Let's go down here. We've got Houghton 1984. Best product to revive old decks. Presumably talking about wood, like old wood decks.
I like sand it up and throw a little Q-Tech on there. Not sponsored by them, but just I really like it.
Yeah. If it's old, you can get the brighteners, like the wood brightener.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
The like Q-Tech makes them, Mesmers makes them. Everybody makes a deck brightener or refinisher or renewer of sorts.
Basically, it's an acid mixture in water. You spray it on, it kind of eats away at the surface.
Oh, okay.
And you pressure wash it off. And so what it does is it kind of like, it brightens it. Eats off all the death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it peels off that kind of first layer of old weathered wood, the gray patina. So if your deck is old and weathered and is grayed, then that helps you bring it back without sanding it all. Sanding will be the most effective. Like that'll be the only guaranteed way to get it all off and get it back to new, but it's also a lot of work. So
Elbow grease. I would like to change my answer.
yeah.
Best product to revive an old deck, elbow grease.
The nice thing about those brighteners is that you spray them on, they can kind of get into the cracks and everything, whereas the sander, like, it's pretty tough to get down into the grooves of the boards and everything else.
Yep.
And then once that's done, to Wade's point, Q-Tech that bitch.
Whoa. Just got excited.
Is this? Do you have to change the rating of this podcast now?
It's always explicit.
Oh, well. Yeah, we love Q-Tech. We sell tons of Q-Tech. Our
I like
customers.
Mesmers too.
So I do like Mesmers too, but in the 4 years we sold Mesmers, I never once had a customer come back and say, maybe this isn't true, but I like not to the frequency we do now. So good. It's so easy to work with. I've never used anything like this before.
Yeah.
That happens with Q-Tech all the time.
Yeah.
People always come back to like, it's amazing. Like it's so easy to put on and it's like,
Yeah.
it works great, looks great. Everybody loves it. And so
Yeah.
like we carry both Q-Tech and Mesmers and we sell lots of both, but Q-Tech has definitely taken over the sales for us this year.
Yeah.
People are loving it. So, what do we got next here? So that's our suggestion for that. Corey Dubs in here and says, hey gents, how are things going? Or hope things are going well. They are, Corey. Thank you. Next question from Precision
Not yet.
Precision
He's probably going to
Construction.
start one, right?
Can I order my 100th podcast commemorative swag now? I can't talk today. Swag now. How about just one of these? How about just a shirt from back here? I don't have any commemorative swag for you at this point. But if we ever decide to do that, then
We should order.
sure.
We should order 7 or 8 of those.
So we're getting near the end. There's 16 people in here. If you have any questions left, there's only one more in the bank here.
Ooh.
So put your questions in to the little cards on the bottom of the screen so we don't miss it. Okay? Now, the last question from JJ's Lovely Things, Wade's wife. Have you ever considered a wives takeover podcast?
I hadn't until the other day, and now I think we should.
Yeah.
I hadn't either. This is like the third time in 2 days that it's been referenced. So I feel like she's pressing it pretty hard.
Got to happen now.
Pretty new.
And what was the concept?
They would.
We were
going to
ask
chairs,
them questions?
like
Should be all deck questions.
we just have like
Technical deck questions.
It should be. Like some real doozies too, right? Some people that are actually looking for help.
Exactly.
Like, I really need a hand, guys. I got an inspector. It's down my back. It's like, well, I think you should make him muffins.
so some of the stuff like how many of these podcasts do you actually listen to?
Like we would ask them these questions?
Yeah, she like JJ just sent these to me and was like,
0.
yeah. What's your dream deck look like? Like, because
From their
from
perspective.
their perspective, what do they want out of a deck, right?
Yeah.
Favorite thing from the deck shop. How many construction projects? Oh, wait, what was the what was the craziest construction project you've had to do because of your husband, right? Like I made JJ, didn't make her, but we stuccoed a house together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she like scratch coated the house. So anyway, stuff like that. Be an interesting concept.
It would be. Yeah. Holy crap. All of a sudden there's 5 new questions in there. What did I just
And
do?
a comment from JJ.
Not true. She's listening right now. Not true on the 0 comment. Yeah, JJ's been in here from time to time. She's definitely chalked up more notches in the belt than my wife has. Okay, TC Decks, back at it again. What's your favorite composite color combos for 2-tone decks? That's a good question. Is
Foggy Wharf and Clamshell.
that yours?
That's yours.
I don't know.
Trex. So Bryce
think of.
Bryce doesn't know, but he's but he's in, and that's a great combo.
some shit
Trex,
up.
Foggy Wharf, and Clamshell.
I like Costa and Kaya right now.
That's a good combo. I want to see a deck done. I don't know if this is my favorite combo. I think probably oh boy, this is a tough one. I'm going to say I want to see a Kaya and Tundra deck done. I think that could look really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've seen it done.
Tundra's got too much blue in it for me.
What about
Tundra got blue? Tundra's got no.
What about Dark Slate? How come
Well, a little bit of the streaking, I guess. I find it to be a very tanny gray though.
Decorators Dark Slate and Tundra?
Dark slate looks good with most of the Voyage boards, yeah, or any of the Decorators boards.
So I've seen some pictures of it with like Mesa and Costa. It looks super sharp.
Yeah.
With that, it looks like it's designed to be with all of them. Works with all
yeah.
of them, right?
One of my other favorites was always Dark Hickory and Coastline from
Yes.
TimberTech AZEK. That
man.
combo is straight fire. Like now we're getting away from things. And then a similar combination from Wolf on that would be like Silver Teak and Black Onyx, and I think I might actually prefer that a little bit. It's got more color to it. It's like the same, almost same coloring.
That
man.
one
But
that
I'd
we
say,
did
like-
that was teakwood and rosewood from Wolf was awesome.
That was straight fire too. Yeah. Yeah, my favorites are probably not going to be necessarily the most popular. The most popular would be gray on gray.
Yeah, gray on
Up
gray
here,
seems
right?
to be the most popular.
Down in the States, that's going to be a different story. But here, it's like,
browns.
pick your gray. Do they look good together? Yeah, great. Okay.
I really like those orange, more orangey boards.
I do too. I like the bright ones like that.
your wine. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Like my wine.
Precision Construction says Decorators, Costa, and Kaya. He agrees with Wade.
It'd be nice to see somebody
slick
do
combo.
like the reverse. So lots of people do the light color on the inside of the deck and then a dark picture frame. I've seen a couple that were done dark with a light picture frame, and I like that.
I always really like that look. People always ask that in the store, like, I don't know, would that look good though? And it's like, it's for sure less common, but I think that looks sharp as hell when people do the reverse.
Yeah.
But I was like, for sure, more common to put the light in the middle. And then people are like, oh, maybe we'll just do that. It's like, you don't have to be like everybody. Forget I said that. Do the one that I think looks cool.
We could do, because usually at that, like the price points are the same, right? So do the dark, do Kaya all through the whole deck, do a double picture frame and do one band as Costa and then the outside band as Kaya. I think that looks the sharpest.
Yep. Like, that's a tough question to ask us because we've got 6 brands downstairs and we've seen a lot of them work together, and to pick like 2 colors out of the 100 that we think are our favorites, but there's a few good options. Foggy Wharf with clamshell, Coastline with dark hickory, Costa with Kaya, and the Kaya with Tundra is not something I've even seen before. I'm just saying I've been like itching to see that because I think it would look kind of neat. It's for sure not a common one. I wouldn't even say it's my favorite. I think that'd be cool.
We should do it in here. Why don't we change out the Sierra boards?
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about doing that.
Why not?
It could be cool. What I also like too is that some people are getting into the 3 colors.
Yeah.
And it can look good sometimes too.
That's like that lady that took all the material from the boneyard yesterday.
Oh boy. We had a lady.
She's got a multicolored deck.
She took 7 or 8 colors.
Yeah, I think she had 9. So right now in our boneyard, we have a clearance. It's like all of our stuff that's like discontinued or scratched.
It's gonna have its own podcast later this week.
And so we're blowing it out at 80% off. It's like it's dirt cheap, but it's also like there's also something wrong with it, right?
The 80% off theory. Where did you get that from? Was it a podcast that you had listened to? It might have been a podcast we listened to. And the guy was like, if you're going to have a sale, have a freaking sale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's how you do everything.
He wasn't saying, like, the number wasn't from him, but the idea of just, like,
when you're getting rid of stuff,
don't like, baby step into a sale. Don't be like, 20% off, and then when it doesn't sell, I'll go 30% off, and then when it doesn't sell, I'll go 40% off. Just go to your number.
Yeah, you either have a
and make it
sale or
happen.
you don't have a sale.
And so my number is 50, and I was like, let's blow this shit up.
Get it out.
80%, let's go.
because it's like,
And she's been busy.
some of that stuff is 5 years old.
Yeah, waste money sitting on the ground.
Yeah. And some of it's completely fine. Like, it's just, there's a variety of reasons why it's out there. But anyways, so long story short, we have them stacked in bundles. It's like, oh, there's 3 of this color together. We'll bundle that. That's one price. This one's got 30 boards. We'll bundle that. That's one price.
$20 for these 3 boards. That's
that's
those
crazy.
are real numbers. There was
And
9
so-
of them out there. It was $180.
Somebody bought a deck, like it was like TimberTech Ashwood. Well, she was one of those. It was like $500, but it was like $2,800 worth of material.
Whoa.
It's like, and she scored.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway, she picked like 9 different bundles. And so they were here loading it with presumably her boyfriend or her husband or whoever. They're loading it. I was like, so you guys have like some rental properties? You're doing a bunch of different jobs or whatever? Like, no, just one big one out at the cabin. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what colors they took, but this thing is going to be like a mosaic of, of deck boards. So
It could look cool if it's done right.
it could if you. It's tough.
It's
but
tough.
It could. Yeah.
yeah.
So hopefully we've answered that question well.
What's your
gave you some
favorite
options.
12-tone deck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
New England Deck Pros. Are there discounts available for bulk purchases of hardware and fasteners? Is this a generic question or a question from us? Well, he must know. Like, I'm guessing it's from us. I'll say potentially. The trouble with doing bulk discounts on that kind of stuff is that the more you buy, the more it costs us to ship. And when you get to a certain threshold, we ship it for free. So that's kind of the discount. But if there was something that we could find some sort of efficiency where it's like it costs us less because we're like, we can drop ship it from the distributor or something because it's a big enough order to do that, or it can be palletized and get.
Yeah, if you want to pick up $5,000 worth of G-tape, I have a different price point for that person.
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming into the store and doing that, 100%.
Yeah.
If we have to ship it across the continent, though, then there's some things at play we have to consider. So potentially, yes. Next up here, Northridge GC says, best way to present samples to clients for decking and railing. Okay, I'll give my biased best way. I think you should send them to a store like ours. If you don't have a store like yours, give them a travel voucher. And we're only a drive away.
We'll FaceTime.
It's that's a pretty tricky one. Like, it goes back to our point before about talking about taking in suitcases full of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So some of the contractors locally, what they're doing is they'll come to our shop and they'll grab kind of the in-stock boards, and then they present those to their customers initially. And it's like, you can show Fibron, Decorators, Trex, TimberTech, Wolf, and it's like, here are the popular colors. Here's what's in stock and available. Is there something you like? So that's what some of the guys do here. I think that's probably how I would do it. I would probably have a traveling suitcase, and I would do some of that stuff on my own, because I like the sales process and I like meeting the customers. If I didn't want to do that stuff, if I didn't like the sales part of it, and I didn't like the after hour work, I would just be like, go here.
Yeah.
Talk to Shane and Wade or Fraser or Juanita or whatever. Talk to anybody at the shop. Fill out the choices sheet, which is here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then send that back to me. I'll get you a quote.
I feel like you'd be better off like setting an appointment for them though. Be like, what times are you available? This is the time these guys will meet you.
Right. Or some of the
Right.
guys will meet their customers here.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Some contractors meet them here. Yep. And I like that too, because then everybody's on the same page. There's no potential miscommunication. We can be there and help if they need, or we can leave the contractor alone to do his sales pitch himself. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
I think the most common way, obviously, is to get a contractor kit. That's what most markets are doing. They haul around contractor kits. The whole reason I started this store, restarted the store, was to avoid some of that crap, because I used to carry contractor kits around, and it was like, you had a Trex kit and a Fibron kit. That's usually all I carried around, was those two brands. But it was still a bit tedious to bring those things in, like in and out of your back of your truck. They're dirty, slapping them on people's kitchen tables, and then open them up and slapping samples all over the place. And then they can't, like, they're going to want to see a bigger piece of it anyway at some point. And
Yeah, because it's a small 4-inch sample, right?
And then some guys like Fibron and maybe the others too have created these little, what do you want to call it? Like portfolio, like fanning portfolios. And it's like, it's the boards, but they're cut down to like 1/4-inch pieces, and they're just kind of stacked and they fan out.
That's kind of cool.
That. So I would get a hold of some of those, because that's like a nice little way that you can kind of throw that in your bag and show that that's going to give you as much of a visual as a little tiny 4-inch piece anyway.
Yeah.
Much easier to move around.
Homeowners don't give two shites about the shape of the board. They're picking the color, right? And so,
Well, I do think though that some of these bigger boards have such like defined graining patterns that you're
100%.
really
You
missing
can't tell
out.
some of these colors. Even from a 2-foot board, it's hard to tell what the board actually looks like.
Or like
So,
streaking.
yeah. If you have the opportunity, like the way we've set up our store, our local contractors, we don't mind whatsoever that they just send their contractor or customers down here, and we can help. Just when they do that, we say, like, make sure you either tell us they're coming or tell your customer that they've been sent by you, so we know who's supposed to get the information afterwards. And so if they start asking about, like, well, what should this cost to install, we can just dodge, like, we don't want to.
Oh yeah, that's not for us.
That's not for us to decide. Your contractor is his price, right? And so you can see the retail prices that are here in the store, but if your contractor sent you here just to pick out colors, the quote's going back to them, to the contractor.
Yep.
So we just need to know that information, and then we're more than happy to help walk their customers through.
Does the contractor get a discount? Yes. Can we get that discount?
No.
Don't know. It's
Yeah.
like, that's
Well,
up
it's
to
up
your
to them. Yeah,
contractor.
ask him.
We're going to tell him what the price is.
Majestic Outdoors says, save your drop-offs from previous jobs to give to homeowners for larger samples. If
Could work.
you want to manage that, you can do
bet.
that.
Yep.
Collaborative Construction, that's exactly what we do. He's one of our local guys.
I believe that he sends customers here.
Send customers down to us, which is, I think works well for everybody. TC Deck says, TimberTech has compact booklets of samples that I love. I'm sure if you got a hold of the rep,
Yep.
they could get you one. So that must be
we've
pretty
seen
similar
some
to
of those,
the
right?
Fibron ones.
Yep.
Northridge says, I've got the boxes, but not a booklet.
Yep.
And so the other thing we have too is we've created our own catalog that basically it's a magazine of swatches. You could start there.
Yep.
And then those you could leave, and we give those to our contractors. If they want to use them, it's like, here, take a stack, leave those with your customer. They can spend more time flipping through and seeing the colors. And then of course you need to see it in person again, but it's a great way to just
It's a great way to start.
show everything easily.
Yep.
Like, Precision Construction says, unless you have your own showroom, the client can get a better feel for how boards look at a retailer more than from a sample kit.
Yep.
Yeah. TC Deck says, still waiting for the Utah franchise so I can bring in clients. You know, there's two ways this can happen. We can help you. Either we open one in Utah or you just move here. I think,
We should open one in Utah.
okay.
This
be
market's
fun.
got enough people.
We've got some contractors that are getting up there that are going to retire and open up a whole lot of work for somebody. Somebody could swoop in here. We
I'd
also
rather
need to
open in
open a
Utah.
store in Ontario.
Yeah.
Says Northridge.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, start hitting big markets.
We'll get on opening stores. Be patient.
We'll get on.
Houghton 1984 says, who won the camo giveaway? It was a guy on YouTube by the name of Jeddah, Jeddeh.
Jeddah.
So yeah, that happened. And another one, who won the 5-away? I think that's the same question.
Giveaway.
And
That's it.
that's a wrap.
Sweet. 49 minutes. Poof. Bye.
Wow.
If you would have hit that button, I wouldn't have stopped you. It would have been just over. You just caught me off guard there. So thank you everybody for the Instagram Q&A questions. I like these ones. I just like seeing what people are curious about and answering those questions and just winging it. I enjoy it. So anything else, guys?
Nothing from me.
That was a good podcast.
The podcast queue is cleared from the Q&A. We'll see you next week. Except here we go. We got to get used to this
It's a
intro.
long outro.
Why don't you change this? Can't you cut it down?
Because I wanted him to do it like this so that we could. The old way we used to lead it in, right?
It was shorter.
And then so now, tell me a story. We got time.
We had seconds.
I'm going elk hunting.
Are you?
At the end of this day, I'm leaving to go north hunting.
Oh yeah. Woo. You better get something.
Better bring back some
Hey,
spoils.
thank you for
Feed the family.
listening to
There it
the
is.
Ultimate Deck Podcast.
See you guys next
now
week.
you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships, or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.